on the door. And what is that weird shadow that's appearing across my face? Is it a ghost? And I will say that the GoPro just stopped working as well. I've come to Samlesbury Hall today, and already the list of rules and regulations is confusing me. It says our only rules are please don't bring any food or drink into the hall or grounds. Okay, fair enough. And then it says please don't be naughty and think it's okay to eat in the car. Now I think that's a bit naughty to ask that, really. Of course it's fine to eat in your car. How do they define a guest or a visitor? And I'm here at Samlesbury Hall. Samlesbury, not Samlesbury, as some people sometimes say. Yeah, I'm glad I looked all the information up online before I came, because there's loads of signs with all the rules and regulations which have already rubbed me up the wrong way, but there's no signs with any information. So this is Samlesbury Hall. It was built in 1325, can you believe that, by the Southworth family, who remained in residence until 1678, and since then it's only been occupied by 3 or 4 different families. So yeah, wow, 1325. So Samlesbury Hall's claim to fame is that it's supposed to be haunted by no less than 13 different ghosts. And the main one, are you allowed to have a main ghost, is Lady Dorothea Southworth, from the Southworth family presumably. She haunts this place. What happened was she was a Catholic, and she fell in love with a Protestant man, and they were to be married, and that wouldn't do at the time. And to be honest, that attitude persists in a lot of circles even to this day. And she died of a broken heart after her fiance was killed to dispatch him so that they wouldn't get married. She died of a broken heart, and it's said that she haunts Samlesbury Hall even today. I don't believe in ghosts myself, I must admit. I think that there's always a rational explanation for everything, even if we don't know what the explanation is. So yeah, I'm a skeptic. And also, how is it that whenever you hear of somebody seeing a ghost, they're always wearing Victorian clothing? Why does nobody ever see an 80s ghost in a shell suit? Yeah, maybe it's because if the ghost was wearing a lurid pink, orange and green tracksuit thing, maybe other people might be wondering, well, why didn't they see him too? Yeah, so you never see any 80s ghosts in shell suits. But as a skeptic, I've come to Samlesbury Hall, and I wonder if I can see a ghost. So now I'm standing in the chapel, which dates from the early 1400s, and the Southworth family had to request permission from King Henry V to build this chapel so that they wouldn't have to sit amongst the peasants. So they had their own private chapel built at their residence. I'm desperate to have a go on this piano, but something tells me I just shouldn't. It's probably forbidden in some way. So here we are in the parlour at Samlesbury Hall. After the War of the Roses, England found peace and prosperity, and under Tudor rule, the lords began reforming their fortresses into more comfortable homes, and Sir Thomas Southworth made many home improvements during this time, including the creation of the South Wing in 1530, which is what we're standing in now. It includes this magnificent parlour. I know I've come here as a skeptic, but I will say that as soon as I walked into this hall, the building I did have a very spooky feeling. I think it might just have been the floorboards creaking under my own footsteps and the fact that the door was wide open, and the draft today is really cold. So I'm putting it down to that, but maybe other people might have a different opinion. And this is the Great Hall at Samlesbury Hall. Hang on, what's happening up there? Are they ghosts playing the recorder? So this must be the kitchen and the laundry room. It's missing a few of the mod cons, I must admit. And try using one of those on your shell suit. So St John Southworth was born here at Samlesbury Hall to a devoutly Catholic family in 1592. He trained as a priest and he spent his whole life as a priest and basically on the run, providing secret help to Catholics and also caring for plague victims in London. And over the course of his life, he was arrested several times. In 1654, he was arrested and charged for treason, for which he faced the death penalty, and he was hanged, drawn and quartered. He was the last secular priest to be executed in that way, and he was made a saint in 1970, and his remains lie at Westminster Cathedral. So it says here, in 1678, Thomas Bradell bought the hall from the Southworth family, who were facing financial difficulties and couldn't afford to keep the hall anymore. Bradell stripped it of most of his decorative features and installed them in his home, Conishead Priory in Ulverston. And he didn't have a lot of interest in Samlesbury Hall, and he let it to several families of handloom weavers who would undertake their trade here. Is that a ghost? So we're in the banquet room, I think, and look, they've always had pineapple and cheese on a stick. Okay, this notice here, I'm reading it now. Dance quietly. Do not kick and caper about, nor sway your body to and fro. Dance only from the hips downwards. And lead the lady as lightly as you would tread a measure with a spirit of gossamer. They love their pianos. And that really tiny hole up there that you can see in the ceiling is the entrance to the 16th century Catholic priest hole. And during the time of persecution, those evading prosecution would climb into that hole there to evade capture. And yeah, you must have had to have been quite small, because it's not a big hole by any means. Apparently Samlesbury Hall was once converted into a pub. Who knew? Cheers. Now that is one scary picture. Right, so my companion is having to hold the door while we're in this really dark room because there's no handle on the door. And what is that weird shadow that's appearing across my face? Is it a ghost? And I will say that the GoPro just stopped working as well, so maybe there is something in this haunted stuff.
Dorothea Southworth was a notable woman, beautiful, kind and defiant. Her father was Sir John Southworth. He was the High Sheriff of Lancashire and a devoutly Catholic man. Dorothea fell in love with the son of the de Haughton family, not here in Samlesbury, but at nearby Haughton Tower.
Samlesbury Hall also has a direct connection with the Samlesbury witches, who were accused in the 17th century by a 14-year-old child of practicing witchcraft. Grace Sowerbutts named her grandmother Jeanette Brierley, her aunt Ellen Brierley, and Jane Southworth of Samlesbury Hall as witches. And following the trial, unusually all three were acquitted, there being no proof of malignant magic. And if you're interested in more about Lancashire witches, I've talked about this in the video when I went to Lancaster. Watch it, it's a good one. And yeah, the connection with here at Samlesbury Hall is all too real, really.
Magic making must be concealed. Pull back the rug, my secret.
There's a bench back there. Do you think I'm allowed to sit on it? I think it would involve walking across the carefully manicured lawns. Let's go for it. Yes, remember at Samlesbury Hall they've only got one rule, and that is that you're not allowed to eat here, or seemingly on the day you come here. I've got actually a pack of polos in my pocket. Do you think that's allowed? Am I being a bit naughty? So I came here as a skeptic. I've never believed in ghosts in my life, but I will say in that darkened room, when there was that strange shadow across my face and the GoPro stopped working, that really gave me pause. So yeah, Samlesbury Hall, I've really enjoyed coming here. The best thing is, I know I've sort of gone after them really about the food thing and barking orders at you with the notices all the time, but the great thing is it was free to park, it was free to go in, just donations of your choice. So I think that's really excellent point in its favour. Yeah, the gardens are really nice, especially considering the time of year. We're well into October now. And it's just started to rain, so I think it might be time to wrap this video up. This section here I think is a glamping area. I think you can hire these huts to stay in overnight, so that might be a fun thing to do. Yeah, I've enjoyed my visit to Samlesbury Hall. I don't know if you've enjoyed the video, but yeah, I really enjoyed learning about all the history, and it really brought it to life somehow, and I think I might have maybe even experienced a ghost. What do you think? Is Samlesbury Hall haunted? Pop your answer in the comments, and if you like this video, watch one of my other ones, and don't forget to subscribe for new travel videos every Monday. I won't want you to miss anything. And in the meantime, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.